Happy New Year to all of my subscribers of the channel, Heavy Metal 164. Here we are, January 1st, 2018, with hopefully will be a great year for diecast. I hope in 2018 to do a lot less selling than I did in 2017. A lot of the selling that I did was necessary, but a lot of it was done out of necessity. Anyways, I wanted to, this video is going to have some structure. I pulled this out. Basically what I've been doing the last few videos is looking at cars, pulling cars out that I haven't really taken a close look at in a while. And I don't think I've really taken a look at this car since I got it. It's a really nice looking casting. It doesn't specify anywhere. It is a Siku. I'm not sure if it's a licensed model or not, but it sure looks like a Mercedes Sprinter to me. This thing displays really nice with premium diecast. Even though it's actually quite basic, it feels cheap to the touch. Plastic base, plastic tires. You do have painted or tampoed headlights and taillights, but up in the display case, it looks really good. It almost looks like a premium. You know, almost looks like something Greenlight would put out. And I recently did get a request to show this, so figured I would. But most of the video is going to be Greenlight, and I will get back to the viewer's choice and who did it best. But right now, the structure of the channel, the structure of the content is going to be pretty random just because of some of the chaos that's going on here. I picked a couple of castings up today. I picked this one up. This one I'm going to keep on the card for now. I've already got it, but really do like the Datsun pickup. And then I found this one, which I already took off the card. I don't buy these, but this one just looked too good for me not to buy it. This is the Ducati 1199. Very, very cool casting from Hot Wheels. It's clearly way out of scale. This is actually probably I don't know. It's not quite 1:24, but I think it might be a little big for 1:43. I honestly don't know, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that it's not 1:64 scale. But it is a pretty nice looking little motorcycle considering it's a Hot Wheels mainline. Really nice job on the casting from Hot Wheels. So I've got a plastic tote of oddball castings. This will go in that. Really the only other motorcycle that I have is the Honda Monkey. I have that in red, yellow, and blue. I actually picked up an M2 today. A little out of the norm for me, but it is an auto driver, and it's a 69 Roadrunner, which is a tooling that I actually really like. It's probably a car that will be featured at some point on the Who Did It Best, just because it's a car that's been done by Hot Wheels, Greenlight, M2, Johnny Lightning. So at some point it probably will be on there. I don't know. I just think that M2 does so much better with the auto drivers. The toolings just look so much cleaner. I mean, this is a great looking tooling right here. Now, I have this tooling with the opening doors as well. I guess that wouldn't be this tooling, that would be a different tooling. But I have the M2 with the opening doors, the more premium tooling. And the one that I have is probably 6 years old, And back then they had exceptional quality control. So the one that I have looks really good. But any of the modern ones that I've seen the last couple of years have just looked trashy. But this thing looks really good. It has some really nice wheels and tires. Although I think these wheels in a satin black would look better. But overall, I think this is a really nice casting. I actually prefer the plastic base to the metal base. That's something that has kind of grown on me as I've started to collect Kyosho and Konami. It's been proven that you can do a car as nice or even nicer with a plastic base. The metal base is not a requirement for me. In fact, I would prefer that the cars don't. The only real exception I have to that is Tomica Limited Vintage, just because they do such a nice job the way that those cars are assembled. They almost are assembled like a fine watch. So with those, I think I would prefer the metal base. But outside of that, I wish Greenlight would do plastic. I wish all these companies, Auto World, I wish they would do plastic and take whatever money they save and put it into the details of the car. I mean, we don't need a detailed drivetrain at the bottom. We don't need any of that stuff. It looks tacky anyways, and you're never going to see it because the car displays like this. So, but anyways, I really do like this tooling. And it's just a classic example, in my opinion, where less is more, you know. The fact that it doesn't have opening doors is a bonus. It's a plus to me. So, really cool car, though. I really like the way that it looks. And the scale on it looks pretty good. It's probably a little big for 1:64. But I don't know. I like it. So now we're going to take a look at some Greenlight. I have 4 jammers that are full of Greenlight, and I'm just going to try to skim through them. I don't know how this is going to go. There's really no method to the madness. I'm just going to pull some random cars out, and we're going to take a look. Actually, I have 2 cars to look at before we get to the jammers. I pulled these 2 out of the display. The first one being this 2016 2500 Cummins. This is a sick tooling from Greenlight. I love it. Got the Ram box. Just love the detail. I love the sculpted detail. I love the proportions of the truck. The wheels on this one look good. Got lensed headlights with not just tampos, but, oh, are they? I hate, you know, I started out calling those reverse tampos, but I think that's the wrong term because they're not really reversed. They're just behind the lens. And like, I don't know if you can see that here, but that indicator is that the indicator tampo is behind the lens. When they do that, it gives it a really, really good look. It gives it a really realistic look. There's your front end with the plow. This is just an awesome truck. And then here in the back you have the hopper. Really, really, really nice truck. I dig it. And then the other car that I pulled out of the case seems to be a fan favorite. I'm sure a lot of you would be happy to see this. I haven't shown it in a while. It's been featured on quite a few videos of mine. It's one of my favorite Greenlight cars in my entire collection. And that is the Farmtruck. I think Greenlight will be re-releasing this at some point. this particular release is an exclusive to Farmtruck. When it came out, the only place you could get it was their website. Now you can get it on the secondhand market. I don't know what it sells for. When I bought it, it was about $40. If you're lucky enough to find it on their website, it's $25, but 99% of the time it's sold out at that price. But the detail in this thing is pretty incredible. It's a really, really nice truck. I think it's really cool that they commissioned Greenlight to do it. You know, Greenlight will make diecast for anybody. You guys, whoever you are watching this, could contact Greenlight and say, hey, I want you to make this car, and this is what I want on it. This is what I want it to look like. You know, I want it this color. I want these graphics for my company or whatever it is. And they will do it. But you are subject to MOQ. So you have to be cognizant of that. And if you're wondering what MOQ is, I work in wholesale distribution, so it's a term I'm very familiar with, but it is minimum order quantity. And it's not cheap. It's usually, I think in this case, it was 2,500 units initially. So, you know, if you have a company and you want a nice promotional item to hand out, whatever your marketing budget is, you know, you just fit it in there. You figure retail on these on exclusives is probably around $8. So you figure wholesale is probably around $4. So then you would figure at 2,500 of them at $4 a pop, you're right around 10 grand. That's just me thinking out loud. I could be way off base with that. It could cost more than that. You might have initial fees, design fees, that kind of stuff that would be added on top of that. But I honestly don't know how it works. If I ever won the lottery, I guarantee you I would find out. I would actually do a limited run of these for the channel. And I would probably give them out as prizes. With this truck, like the initial Ron John release, there are no green machines available. So that's something to think about. All right, let's go into the jammers and see what we got. Let's see what we're dealing with. I see a big issue with a car. I'm going to pull this one out first so we can talk about it. It is something that I have never seen before from Greenlight. So, it actually, I think, is as a testament to Greenlight and how awesome they are as a company. This is your City of Albuquerque Police Department 2012 Dodge Charger. There you go. Let's see if you can notice what's wrong with this car right now. Bloop. Windows came off. They've been loose for a while. I knew it was coming, but just a testament to the quality, the fact that I have so many of these things and for the most part stored in jammers, which aren't the best way. In fact, I wouldn't recommend storing your premium diecast in jammers. Johnny Lightning are probably okay, but anything above and beyond that, I wouldn't store in jammers. With that being considered, I think this really says a lot about the quality control of Greenlight. This is the only car where I've had that issue. Kind of makes me want to pull this one off, because it actually doesn't look terrible, I don't think. Just kind of looks like the windows are down. I like the livery of this Albuquerque police department. All right, so that's I would not have shown that car if it weren't for the little broken piece there. Another casting I really like from Greenlight is this Ford Police Interceptor. I don't remember what this is. I think a Hot Pursuit release. It could be a Country Roads. Sometimes these cars make appearances in the Country Roads, but they really do a nice job with these, with lens headlights and taillights. Prototypical wheels. I wish that we would see civilian models from time to time of the Ford Explorer, but I don't know. That one's okay. This one is probably my favorite of all the ones I have. Nypd. I hate New York. I'm sorry for all you New Yorkers that watch. I'm not like trying to offend anybody. I'm just not a fan of the state of New York. But the NYPD is an iconic, probably the most recognized emergency service in the world, actually. You know, it probably is NYPD. So, really nice light bar on this thing. This is just a really nice piece. And hopefully it's a piece that where nothing falls off of it over the course of owning it. Let's see. Here's another unique. This is a very unique casting from Greenlight. It's relatively new. It's been out for a couple of years, but this is a nice low number too. Number 62. This is an altered Dragster. If you're wondering, this car is actually a Fiat. And this is the Black Bandit. I think there's only 4 different releases, 4 different examples of this tooling that they've put out. Really cool little tooling. Definitely a money saver, and that's probably part of why they did this. You know, in those 6-car releases where 1 or 2 of them are massive and take up a lot of metal, this is just a filler car to keep the average where they need it to be. A lot like the Jeep Wranglers and Volkswagen Beetles, which, speaking of the Volkswagen Beetles, of all the Volkswagen Beetles that they've put out, this one right here is my favorite. This is just a perfect example that Greenlight can do a really nice weather job when they want to. This thing looks great. Now this rack has come off. It's just setting up there. I need to reattach it with some glue. I've thought about even taking one of these lenses out just to have a busted out headlight. I think that would add a nice touch to this casting. But a really cool Beetle from Greenlight. I dig it a lot. They also released this as a clean, like minty version, which I didn't like as much. Here's another casting that they do a really great job with. This is the 2011 Dodge Charger. Look at that. That just looks great. Just a very small stance issue. And actually, it may not even be that. It just might be the axles. But that car looks awesome. Very authentic looking model. Lens headlights, lens taillights. Pretty sure it has an opening hood. Yes, it does. Opening hood that snaps shut, so it's not going to stay open. Here's the back end. Back end of this car looks fantastic. So that's a really cool car from Greenlight. Alright, let's flip the jammer around. Only one car on this side we're going to take a look at. And that is, oh, that's dope. I didn't know it did that. 1965. Lincoln Continental. Look at that. This is a beautiful casting. As nice as the Johnny is, this thing is 10 times nicer. It's a boat. It's a massive car. Actually does have lensed headlights, which may not show up too well in the video. Very, very, very nice car. So that one is from the Matrix. Not sure what other releases it's been out in, but I think it has been out a few times now. Alright, the next jammer. Actually, we'll start with this one because that little Beetle that I just showed you here is the same car, but clean. I love the wheels on this. These are actually pretty close to the wheels that I put on the... these are pretty close to the wheels that I put on the little Datsun 510. And actually, I think these wheels would look pretty sick on that black Advan 510. I think these would look killer on that car, actually. If I find another one of these, I might pick it up just for that. Ooh, it does. It is screwed in. So I wouldn't have to drill it. Well, no, I'm getting tempted. Dude, these wheels would look so good on that car. Anyways, this is a great casting from Greenlight. You have an opening bonnet there with a detailed engine in there that I can't show you. Then you've got an opening frunk. Really, really cool casting. Good detail. It's scaled right. I mean, it's a nice little car. I'm not a big VW fan, but the Greenlight Beetles, I think, are... Well, I have to admit, the M2 Beetles are probably the nicest in the scale, but Greenlight Beetles, I don't think are too far behind. I like those wheels. I might just have to put those on the Advan. The only thing that I see that would be an issue is that the tires, these tires seem kind of cheap. The wheels look really good. It's just the tires. I wonder if those Advan tires would, or those Yokohamas would change over. Okay, here's a car I don't get too excited about most of the time from Greenlight, but in this case I did because this looks awesome. But also it came out with a truck that I had to have. But the livery on this really looks good. They brought this car out a few times. It's only ever come out in the motor world, but because this came out in the HD trucks, they put some more TLC into it with the silver pipes and the Goodyear Eagle tires. The rims on it look fantastic. This is just an awesome release here from Greenlight. It's, you know, like I said, it's not one of their premium toolings. It might even be an old high-speed tooling, actually, now that I think about it. But it's very, very, very nice tooling, and it looks so killer with these wheels and tires. I think this model right here with this livery, these wheels and tires, is my favorite 1/64 scale Cobra that I've seen. You know, Shelby Collectibles makes a pretty nice one, but I think this one's even nicer. Really, really cool little car, but the wheels and tires just look killer. Let's see. Here's something that's simple but classy looking. This old C10 or Cheyenne. This was one of the first Greenlight Cheyennes in my collection, and I love it. Really nice truck. Little white wall issue there. Sometimes these premium brands struggle at making circles. Here's a more recent model of that truck. I think I probably have around 20 of these. And it's hard to say which one is my favorite. I really don't. Well, actually, it's easy. It's the Farmtruck. But outside of that, it's hard to say because they put out so many nice ones. And they put out, there's probably 20 or so really, really nice ones that I don't even have. But here's one that I really like. This is an awesome one here. The Black Bandit with the gloss black rocker and then the satin finish. Really nice truck. Nice wheels and tires. Just waiting for this one with the lift. I might actually send one of these off to I think it's Custom Farm Trucks. I don't know. I got a message him. I actually have a couple of questions for him. So I think he watches. If you're watching, I do have a couple of questions for you. Here's a Corvette number 264. I got this in the 10-pack. I think it's a Route 66 10-pack, which came out, I think, back in 2010. So it's a pretty basic casting, but it's a really nice little casting from Greenlight. You know, it actually doesn't look bad at all. Nice lensed headlights, pretty decent stance, nice windshield, really nice detail, nice tail lights. They almost look lensed, but it's a metallic red paint. It's really not showing up on camera, but in person they look really good. It's a really sharp looking Corvette. I like it. Oh, there is one more C10 that I wanted to look at. This is the re-release from the TV show Dallas. This one here would probably look really good lifted. I really like that truck too. I like all of those C10s. A truck that they make that I'm not as fond of is the Dodge D100, but I really would like to see one of these lifted too. I just don't think this one is as nice. Still a nice truck though. And here's probably my least favorite Greenlight pickup. It's the 56 Ford. This was basically, this really only ever came out in the motor world, and just recently started bringing it out in the premium sets. I guess it looks pretty good. I just don't know how scale accurate it is. And same thing with this. This is an old high-speed casting. This car has never come out in a premium release, but it is coming. Now, it's been out in a lot of dioramas, and it's been out a few times in the motor world, but they are bringing this out in their premium releases. I don't know when. So it should have a metal base and all that good stuff. This is the 55 Chevy Belair. This is my favorite that they put out because it just has the primer finish, which I think looks really good. And for scale, I don't know how accurate this is. I think it might be a little small. I don't know. It's not too bad though. I mean, I think if Greenlight were to do it, I think it would be better. But whoever High Speed is, I don't know who they are. They're not, obviously, they're not a very big company, being that most people haven't heard of them. But it seems to be a pretty decent tooling, I guess. And then here is a Greenlight casting that I love. They don't bring it out very often, which is surprising. This is the 2013 Ford Escape. This one also mostly comes out as a Motor World. Now, the stance on it, I think, is probably a little off. It just sits a little high. Maybe these wheels and tires are a little too big for it, but other than that, really nice job on the model. Lens headlights and taillights. Seems like all the Fords get the lens headlight taillight treatment. But I like the civilian model. This has been out in Hot Pursuit a few times. New York Department of Sanitation. But sometimes I like to just get civilian livery. So, pretty cool car. I like it. Alright, on to the next side. We are 31 minutes in and we're not even halfway done. This might turn into 2 videos. Let's start right off the bat. This came out of that 10-pack Route 66. This is a very poor attempt at a projects in progress. It's a shame because they only had to do one thing to make this thing look really good. So let me wheel it on into the screen here. I guess on camera it doesn't look too bad because it's kind of hard to see the gloss of the gray. The primer is glossed. It's clear coated with the rest of the paint. And it shouldn't be. It should just be a flat gray. I like these wheels though. Greenlight's been using these a little bit more lately. It's a nice tooling. Nice tooling from Greenlight. And I think overall I do like this release. This car is not the easiest to find. It's not too expensive. I wish the gray was flat, but other than that, I like it. Here's a pretty cool, well here's another Mustang. I don't remember which set this one was in, but I don't typically like convertibles in this scale, but this one looks pretty darn nice. That is a very nice replica. I like the red line tires. Really cool car. And then this thing here is awesome. I really dig the colorway on this. We got an upset little baby. That is awesome right there. Killer colorway. A little bit of a bumper issue on the back, but I really dig the colors. This is a 1978, so those colors would be pretty appropriate for the late 70s. Oh, here's another one with those same... Oh no, this is going to tempt me too much. Here is the wheels again for the ad van. Oh, that's so tempting. I might just have to do it. These tires look like they're a lot nicer. I don't know. I might have to play around with that tonight. Here's one that I like, but this is the clean version. This very same van was released in a film reel for Lost with a fantastic weathered look. And the weathered look just looks so much better. It looks so good that I've got it up in my display case. Here's a pretty cool one too. This is a 74. This is one of those where I may actually take this rack off and make a custom Ford Bronco with it. Because I don't want to take the rack off of the Field of Dreams one. Probably my favorite Dodge B100. Pretty nice low number, number 421. From County Roads, I forget which series, but this one, this black one with the yellow, orange, and red, just looks really good. And I love the wheels. I love these wheels. These are some of my favorite Greenlight wheels right here. They put these wheels on a lot of these Dodge B100 vans, but as I'm going to show you here, most of the time they are chrome, and I don't like them in chrome. They look good. They look really good in chrome, but I like this silver look better. I just like that look. That's a really nice wheel. And here's another one that I like quite a bit. The yellow one. I dig this van. Really cool van. I've got quite a few. Here's another one. I've got a couple more. I'm not going to pull them all out. But that is the Dodge B100. And, oh yeah, here's a couple of nice ones. Here we go. Take both of these out. This one here is a 1977 Dodge Monaco. And a very, very nice looking colorway. I love the silver with the maroon vinyl top and the maroon interior. I love this casting here. Not just the casting, but I love this release from Country Roads. Very, very cool Dodge Monaco. One of my favorites. I think my favorite is the one from Hitch and Tow Series 2, the green one. Here's a pretty old Impala. This one came out in County Roads before it changed to Country Roads. This is a really cool release, though. It has a rusted rocker panel that's just a very subtle detail to the car. Also, if you look around the rear window, you have some rust. Stuff that you would probably expect to find around a car this old. I like the car in white. I think it's simple looking. It looks really good. You know, usually when you see this car, it's black because it's a Supernatural, because they put that car out about a bazillion times to the point where it's old. I don't think any collectors want to see it anymore. Oh, here's a couple. Man, I almost want to pull all four of these out just because they all look so good. I'm going to do that. Try to make it quick. I think all of these are the same year. Yes, indeed. All of them are. 1967 Ford Custom. Another big four-door sedan. See, this is a car that they use a lot in the Hot Pursuit, but they actually bring it out as a civilian car a lot too. And there are a lot of Hot Pursuit castings where I wish they would do that. Most notably, the Body Notchback. You know, these civilian models, cruisers, just look so killer. Just awesome. I mean, look at these wheels. Prototypical OEM hubcaps, white wall tires, incredible detail. You know, this is why we want to see these cars with civilian livery. Probably my favorite color right here. Love this color. Very, very nice. little bit of an issue with the rear axle. It looks like it was pinched when the base was spun. But I like that color. I also like this color here quite a bit. Now this one was from one of the Hollywood releases. I don't remember which one. So there's a little blemish there on the door. That is supposed to be there. That is a tampoed detail. Outside of that, the car is mint. Well, I take that back. Pretty close to mint and a great looking car. So those are the Ford Customs. And I think here in a couple minutes I'm going to end this video and do a part 2 because we're 41 minutes in and still not quite halfway done. Here's a supernatural car that I actually was pretty happy to see. Something besides a Impala. This is a 67 Fastback Mustang. Great looking little car. Love the Fastback. Really nice stance. Sharp looking. Hard, doesn't show up too well on camera. This thing is awesome. Again, I don't care much for these convertible cars in this scale, but when they're done as nice as this 1970 Oldsmobile 442, it's hard to say no. This is from the Barrett-Jackson. Love the color. This is just a very well done car. Very cool car. I dig it. And then 2 more cars that I'll show in this video before we move along. This one, I don't remember what release this one was in, but I think it might be that... no, this was also the Barrett-Jackson. And there's another quality control issue with this one. This is a 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. A killer looking car with one exception. Back end looks great. You can see what I'm talking about. Sometimes with these cars, the plastic top just looks cheap, and this is one of those. It feels cheap, it looks cheap. I don't know if it's because it's just a cheaper batch of plastic or what, but you can see it's not even staying glued to the body. It wasn't set right. Not a fan of that, and it's a shame because it ruins what would otherwise be a really nice tooling. And then this last one is from the same release as the silver Fox body that I have, which is County Road Series 5. And this is a 1971 Dodge Challenger. Now this car has the same type of plastic roof, but just look how much better this one looks, how much nicer it looks, because it came out 5 years or 6 years before the other one. This thing looks every single bit as nice as the Auto World. And maybe nicer, I don't know. The wheels and tires are definitely nicer on this. It's almost tempting to do a wheel swap on those. This does not have lens taillights, but it's really hard to tell. They look like they are lensed. But look at the gas cap. This thing is sick. It does have an opening hood. I'm not going to force it open though. So, alright, 44 minutes. I'm going to wrap this video up and then I'll come back with another part 2. Now that we're done, we've got 2 jammers done and we got 2 jammers to go. So I will holler at you guys at part 2.